I'm not going to storm out of here, Catch. And I'm not going to admit that you got Barbara Novak to fall in love. Because I'm not Barbara Novak. There is no Barbara Novak. And I didn't fall in love with Zip Martin. I fell in love with Catcher Block. And that was a year ago, when for 3.5 weeks I worked as your secretary. I don't expect you to remember me, I was a blonde then. But you did ask me out, and it broke my heart to say no. But I loved you too much. I couldn't bear to become just another notch in your bedpost. And with your dating habits, I knew that even if I was lucky enough to get a regular spot on your rotating schedule, that I would never have your undivided attention long enough for you to fall in love with me. I knew I had to do something to set myself apart. I knew I had to quit my job as your secretary and write an international bestseller controversial enough to get the attention of a New York publisher and no magazine, but insignificant enough that as long as I remained unseen, no magazine's star journalist would refuse to do a cover story about it. I knew every time we were supposed to meet, you would get distracted by one of your many girlfriends and stand me up, and this would give me an excuse to fight with you over the phone and tell you that I wouldn't meet with you in 100 years. And then all I'd have to do was be patient and wait the 2 or 3 weeks it would take for every woman in the world to buy a copy of my bestseller. And then I would start to get the kind of publicity so you could, 1, see what I looked like, and 2, watch me denounce you in public as the worst kind of man. I knew this would make you want to get even by writing one of your famous exposés. And in order to do that, you would have to go undercover, assume a false identity, and pretend to be the kind of man that would make the kind of woman I was pretending to be fall in love. And since I was pretending to be a woman who would have sex on the first date, you would have to pretend to be a man who wouldn't have sex for several dates. And in doing so, we would go on lots of dates, to all the best places and all the hit shows. Until one night, you would take me back to your place, which you were pretending was someone else's, in order to get the evidence you needed to write your exposé. By seducing me, until I said, I love you. But saying I love you was also my plan. I just wanted you to know the truth so that when you heard me say I love you, you would know that I knew who you were and you would know who I was. And you, the great Catcher Block, would know that you'd been beaten at your own game. By me, Nancy Brown, your former secretary. And I will have finally set myself apart from all the other women you've known, all the other girls that you never really cared about, by making myself someone like the one person that you truly love and admire above all others. You. And in doing that, you would know you'd met your match. And I will have finally gained the respect that meant that you wanted to marry me first and seduce me later. I just wanted you to hear all this from me before you heard it from your private eye.